Friedrich Nietzsche, in Twilight of the Idols, makes a provocative statement. Only the weak use arguments. This assertion, especially coming from a philosopher, invites reflection. What did Nietzsche mean by this? To understand, one must explore his profound skepticism toward reason, argumentation, and their perceived overvaluation in Western thought. A skepticism rooted in his critique of Socrates. For Nietzsche, Socrates was not the savior of philosophy, but its corrupter. He accused Socrates of initiating the tyranny of reason, a cultural shift that elevated logic to the sole measure of truth. This, Nietzsche argues, marked the beginning of a cultural decline, starting with Greece and extending to Western civilization as a whole. Nietzsche famously referred to Socrates as the mosquito of Athens. Socrates' relentless questioning of the Athenian elite, challenging their beliefs about justice, beauty, and morality, earned him this moniker. His dialectical method forced his interlocutors to confront the inconsistencies in their convictions, often leading them to doubt their life's foundations. However, Nietzsche viewed this as symptomatic of a deeper cultural malaise. A thriving culture does not need to justify itself through philosophy. Its vitality speaks for itself. By the time Socrates appeared, Greek culture was already in decline, and his emphasis on reason and justification exacerbated this decay. Nietzsche's critique extends beyond Socrates to the broader moral frameworks of history. He contrasts what he calls master morality and slave morality. The former, associated with the presocratic Greeks, celebrates strength, vitality, and the unrestrained assertion of power. For the masters, good was synonymous with what was noble and strong, and their actions required no justification beyond their own will. In contrast, slave morality emerged from the resentment of the weak. Unable to compete with the powerful, they redefined values to favor humility, meekness, and submission. Nietzsche saw Socratic reasoning as a tool of this moral inversion, a weapon used by the weak to undermine the strong, by appealing to reason and universal principles. Nietzsche's critique of Socratic reasoning extends to art, particularly Greek tragedy. He lamented how the works of Euripides, influenced by Socrates, diluted the mystical power of traditional Greek art. Euripides prioritized intellectual clarity and rationality, stripping tragedy of its primal and instinctive energy. For Nietzsche, this shift reflected a broader cultural decline. The insistence on understanding and explaining everything, a hallmark of Socratic reasoning, robbed art of its enigmatic and transcendent qualities, reducing it to mere rational exposition. To illustrate the ethos of pre-Socratic Greece, Nietzsche points to the Melian dialogue, recounted by Thucydides during the Peloponnesian War. In this encounter, Athens demanded that the neutral island of Melos submit to its authority. When the Melians resisted, the Athenians responded with a stark assertion of power. The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must. This unapologetic embrace of power epitomized the pre-Socratic Greek spirit, unencumbered by the need for moral justification. For Nietzsche, this confidence in one's own strength was lost with the rise of Socratic and later Christian values, which emphasized humility and self-denial. Nietzsche's philosophical project seeks to transcend the limitations imposed by Socratic and Christian morality. Central to this vision is the concept of the Übermensch, or overman, a figure who creates new values rooted in strength, creativity, and self-assertion. The Übermensch embodies a return to the vitality of pre-Socratic Greece, but elevates it to a new level of self-awareness. Unlike Socratic reasoning, which seeks external validation through logic and universal principles, the Übermensch draws authority from within. This figure represents Nietzsche's call to move beyond good and evil to a morality that is life-affirming, self-created, and unbound by the constraints of tradition. To deepen our understanding of Nietzsche's critique, it is essential to place his philosophy within its historical context. By examining the intellectual and cultural milieu in which Nietzsche lived, we can better grasp the motivations behind his radical ideas and their enduring relevance. Arthur Schopenhauer, a significant influence on Nietzsche, provides a crucial backdrop for his ideas. Schopenhauer's concept of the will as the fundamental driving force of existence resonated deeply with Nietzsche. However, while Schopenhauer viewed the will as a source of suffering to be overcome through renunciation, Nietzsche embraced it as a manifestation of life's creative and dynamic energy. In rejecting Schopenhauer's pessimism, Nietzsche sought to affirm life in all its complexity, celebrating the will as a force of growth and self-overcoming. This perspective underpins his critique of Socratic reasoning, which he saw as a denial of life's instinctual and chaotic nature in favor of sterile rationality. Nietzsche's critique also reflects his response to the cultural crisis of modernity. In the late 19th century, Europe was grappling with the decline of traditional religious and moral frameworks, leading to a sense of disorientation and existential angst. Nietzsche famously declared, "God is dead," capturing the profound implications of this cultural upheaval. For Nietzsche, the death of God signaled the collapse of the metaphysical foundations upon which Western civilization had been built. In this void, he saw an opportunity for humanity to create new values, but also a danger of falling into nihilism. His critique of Socratic reasoning is thus part of a broader effort to confront and overcome the challenges of modernity. To understand the full scope of Nietzsche's critique, it is essential to examine the legacy of Socratic reasoning in Western thought. From Plato's idealism to the rise of Christianity and the Enlightenment's emphasis on reason, the Socratic method has profoundly shaped the trajectory of Western philosophy. Nietzsche saw this legacy as a double-edged sword. While it had driven intellectual progress, it had also fostered a mindset that prioritized abstraction and universality over the richness of lived experience. By challenging this legacy, Nietzsche sought to reclaim a more authentic and life-affirming approach to philosophy. Nietzsche's critique of Socratic reasoning is not merely philosophical, it also delves into the psychological. He explores how the rise of reason, as championed by Socrates, impacts the human psyche and its relationship with instincts, emotions, and creativity. One of Nietzsche's central concerns is the suppression of instincts in favor of rational thought. He believed that human instincts are a source of vitality and creativity, essential for a fulfilling life. Socratic reasoning, with its emphasis on logic and justification, suppresses these instincts, leading to a disconnect between the individual and their natural impulses. For Nietzsche, this suppression creates a psychological imbalance, fostering a sense of dissatisfaction and alienation. He viewed the overemphasis on reason as a form of self-denial, preventing individuals from embracing their true nature and achieving their full potential. The psychological underpinnings of slave morality are closely tied to the concept of resentment. Nietzsche describes resentment as a deep-seated resentment harbored by the weak against the strong. Unable to assert themselves through direct action, the weak channel their frustration into moral and philosophical systems that invert traditional values. Socratic reasoning, Nietzsche argues, is a manifestation of resentment. By prioritizing logic over instinct and moralizing the actions of the powerful, it allows the weak to undermine the natural order and assert a form of symbolic revenge. In contrast to the Apollonian emphasis on order and rationality, Nietzsche celebrates the Dionysian spirit as a symbol of creativity, chaos, and the affirmation of life's unpredictability. He saw the Dionysian as a counterbalance to the sterility of Socratic reasoning, representing a return to the primal energy of pre-Socratic Greece. Through the lens of the Dionysian, Nietzsche envisions a psychological state where individuals embrace their instincts and passions, transcending the limitations imposed by reason. This state, he argues, is essential for artistic and personal growth, enabling a deeper connection with the essence of existence. Nietzsche's philosophical critique is not merely retrospective, it is forward-looking. He envisioned a future where humanity could overcome the limitations imposed by traditional morality and rationalism, embracing a new way of being rooted in strength, creativity, and self-determination. Central to Nietzsche's vision is the idea of creating new values. With the collapse of traditional frameworks, humanity faces the challenge of constructing a moral and philosophical foundation that affirms life rather than denies it. This requires individuals to take responsibility for their own values, rejecting inherited norms and embracing their role as creators. The Übermensch, or overman, represents the embodiment of this ideal. The Übermensch does not seek external validation or adhere to universal principles. Instead, they derive meaning from within, living authentically and courageously in accordance with their own vision. A significant obstacle to Nietzsche's vision is the threat of nihilism, the belief that life lacks inherent meaning or value. With the death of God and the collapse of traditional morality, Nietzsche recognized the risk of despair and existential paralysis. However, he also saw this as an opportunity for renewal. By confronting nihilism directly, Nietzsche believed individuals could transcend it, transforming the absence of meaning into a space for creative possibility. This process requires courage, imagination, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. For Nietzsche, art and philosophy play a vital role in shaping the future. Art, in particular, embodies the Dionysian spirit, offering a means of reconnecting with life's vitality and transcending the limitations of rational thought. Philosophy, when practiced authentically, can serve as a tool for self-discovery and the creation of new values. Nietzsche envisioned a future where these disciplines work in harmony, fostering a culture that celebrates creativity, individuality, and the affirmation of life. This vision stands in stark contrast to the sterile rationalism and moralizing tendencies of Socratic and Christian traditions. Nietzsche's influence extends far beyond the realm of philosophy, permeating literature, psychology, art, and politics. His ideas, though often controversial, continue to provoke thought and inspire debate, making his legacy both profound and enduring. One of Nietzsche's most significant contributions is his influence on existentialist thought. Philosophers such as Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, and Martin Heidegger drew heavily on Nietzsche's themes of individuality, freedom, and the creation of meaning. His critique of traditional morality and his emphasis on authenticity resonate deeply within existentialist frameworks. Nietzsche's insights into human psychology have also had a lasting impact. Sigmund Freud acknowledged Nietzsche's influence on the development of psychoanalysis, particularly in understanding the unconscious mind and the conflict between instincts and societal norms. More recently, psychologists and scholars have explored Nietzsche's ideas on resilience, self-overcoming, and the pursuit of meaning. In the realm of cultural critique, Nietzsche's analysis of modernity and its discontents remains highly relevant. His warnings about the dangers of nihilism and the loss of meaning in a secularized world continue to resonate in contemporary debates about identity, purpose, and the role of tradition in an increasingly fragmented society. Artists, writers, and filmmakers have found inspiration in Nietzsche's philosophy. From the works of Franz Kafka and Thomas Mann to contemporary cinema and visual art, Nietzsche's themes of rebellion, creativity, and the struggle for self-expression have become enduring motifs in the cultural imagination. Nietzsche's philosophy continues to resonate in the 21st century, offering insights into the challenges and opportunities of contemporary life. As we navigate an era defined by rapid technological advancement, cultural fragmentation, and existential uncertainty, Nietzsche's ideas remain profoundly relevant. In a postmodern world characterized by skepticism toward grand narratives and universal truths, Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality and metaphysics provides a valuable framework for understanding our cultural moment. His emphasis on individual creativity and the rejection of inherited values resonates with the postmodern ethos of questioning authority and embracing plurality. Nietzsche's call to create one's own values takes on new significance in an age where traditional sources of meaning, such as religion and community, are increasingly fragmented. In this context, his philosophy offers a blueprint for navigating existential challenges by embracing personal responsibility and cultivating resilience. The rapid advancement of technology poses unique ethical and existential questions that Nietzsche's philosophy can help address. The concept of the will to power provides a lens for understanding the dynamics of technological innovation, highlighting both its creative potential and its capacity for domination and control. In an era dominated by mass media and consumer culture, Nietzsche's celebration of art and the Dionysian spirit offers a counterpoint to the homogenization of culture. His philosophy inspires a return to authenticity, creativity, and the affirmation of life's inherent chaos and beauty. Nietzsche's philosophy continues to resonate in the 21st century, offering insights into the challenges and opportunities of contemporary life. As we navigate an era defined by rapid technological advancement, cultural fragmentation, and existential uncertainty, Nietzsche's ideas remain profoundly relevant. In a postmodern world characterized by skepticism toward grand narratives and universal truths, Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality and metaphysics provides a valuable framework for understanding our cultural moment. His emphasis on individual creativity and the rejection of inherited values resonates with the postmodern ethos of questioning authority and embracing plurality. And one of the key challenges in contemporary Nietzschean thought is reimagining the concept of the Übermensch for a globalized and interconnected world. In Nietzsche's time, the Übermensch represented an individual striving for self-overcoming and the creation of new values. Today, this idea can be extended to collective efforts, emphasizing collaboration and shared creativity while maintaining individual authenticity. Nietzsche's philosophy offers a lens for addressing global challenges such as climate change, inequality, and cultural polarization. His critique of traditional values and his emphasis on life-affirming creativity can inspire innovative solutions that transcend ideological divides and embrace complexity. In the realm of education, Nietzsche's ideas advocate for a system that prioritizes creativity, critical thinking, and the cultivation of individuality. By moving away from standardized approaches and fostering environments that encourage exploration and self-expression, educators can nurture the next generation of thinkers and creators. Finally, Nietzsche's philosophy invites us to consider the concept of the eternal return, the idea that life should be lived as if each moment were to be repeated infinitely. This perspective challenges us to embrace responsibility, find joy in existence, and create a life worth living. As Nietzsche's ideas continue to evolve and inspire, their impact will shape the intellectual and cultural landscape for generations to come. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected and complex, the role of Nietzsche's philosophy in shaping the modern individual's identity and purpose takes on heightened relevance. His ideas provide a framework for navigating existential challenges, fostering creativity, and embracing personal responsibility in an age of uncertainty. Modern society faces an identity crisis driven by rapid technological advancement, globalization, and the erosion of traditional values. Nietzsche's critique of inherited norms encourages individuals to confront these challenges head-on by rejecting passive conformity and taking active control of their self-definition. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch offers a vision for overcoming this crisis. By creating new values and living authentically, the Übermensch exemplifies the courage to forge a unique identity in the face of societal pressures. This idea resonates deeply in a world where individualism often clashes with collective norms. Creativity lies at the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy, serving as a means of self-expression and self-overcoming. For the modern individual, creativity is not limited to artistic endeavors, but extends to all aspects of life, including relationships, careers, and personal growth. Nietzsche's emphasis on the Dionysian spirit highlights the importance of embracing chaos, intuition, and passion as sources of inspiration. By rejecting rigid structures and embracing life's unpredictability, individuals can unlock their full creative potential and find meaning in their endeavors. With the decline of traditional authority figures, Nietzsche recognizes the burden of freedom that comes with the responsibility to create one's own values. This freedom can be both liberating and daunting, as it requires individuals to confront the existential weight of their choices. In addressing this burden, Nietzsche advocates for resilience and self-discipline. By cultivating a strong sense of purpose and embracing the challenges of autonomy, individuals can transform freedom from a source of anxiety into a foundation for empowerment. The rise of technology has fundamentally altered the human experience, introducing new possibilities and challenges. Nietzsche's philosophy offers insights into navigating this landscape by emphasizing the importance of authenticity and self-awareness in a digitally mediated world. In the age of social media and algorithm-driven content, Nietzsche's warning against herd mentality takes on renewed significance. By resisting the pressure to conform to curated norms and engaging critically with digital environments, individuals can assert their agency and maintain a sense of individuality. As traditional religious frameworks lose their influence, Nietzsche's philosophy provides a secular path to meaning and fulfillment. His call to embrace life in its entirety, including its struggles and contradictions, challenges individuals to find purpose in their own experiences rather than seeking external validation. The eternal return, a central concept in Nietzsche's thought, invites individuals to live as if each moment were to be repeated infinitely. This perspective encourages mindfulness, gratitude, and intentionality, transforming even the most mundane aspects of life into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Now, if you've made it this far, maybe there's a part of you that's tired of overthinking too. If this spoke to you, give this video a like. Maybe even subscribe. No need to explain why. Just because you can.